Now let's start doing something interesting with materials. First, I'm gonna click here to close the substrate tab because I have not enabled that, which it will eventually become the norm. But I mean, learning materials right now, it's still one of the best ways of understanding how things are gonna work later on. So that's why we're starting here. And with materials, you will find that if you are already used to the blueprint nodes type of workflow, then materials will be also very easy to get. Now, how can I get the nodes just like blueprints? You right click on an empty space and here they are. You can also check the palette and you will find it here. If you don't have it, Windows, and you should be able to find it here in the palette. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of nodes. But inside these nodes, you will be able to see that the most common ones will be assigned with a shortcut. See? So you can just start like looking around, hey, what's this? Is it useful to me? And I just wanted to show you the most common nodes that we will be using. For example, here in constant, we have constant 2 vector, constant 3 vector, constant 4 vector, and I'm just going to drag and drop it here. Why? Because what I want to show you at the end of this video is how we can change the color without just coming here and clicking and getting the color picker and just choosing, right? So let me just drag these 4 values. So if I want to change the color, I need to select the correct type of variable, or it's not a variable right now, it's just a constant value, right? So what does it mean that it only has a value? This one has 2 values, this one 3 and this one 4. Well, let's open a texture, and I'm sure we can find a texture very easily in our variant shooter in animations, or would it be maybe on web? Yeah, let's look in weapons, pistol, textures, and we can look at the T-Pistol D. Let's open it. And this is a texture. So this texture right now has 3 channels: the red channel, the green channel, and the blue channel. It doesn't have an alpha channel because, well, it doesn't need it. Our object doesn't have any holes, and the holes for triggering, or well, the hole for the trigger, it is part of the mesh, so it doesn't need to be translucent, or we don't need a mask for it, so it doesn't have an alpha. If we're talking about a constant 1, we're talking about usually only about the red channel, and we can remove the channels, so we can only see the red channel here. If we just remove everything, we just see nothing. So this would be constant 1. Constant 2 usually means red and green. Constant 3, red, green, and blue. And constant 4 will be red, green, blue, and the alpha. So in the case of an platform that we can click here and check the blend mode, it's just an opaque type of blend mode. We don't need an alpha, so we can get rid of this. We don't want only 1 value or 2 values, we want 3 because we want the color. So let me just remove this. And to actually set the color here in this node, we can double click here and set up, for example, this. Yeah, this color could be fine. Let's click on OK. But hey, I'm not seeing the color. Well, you need to connect the node. So I can connect directly the red channel or the green channel or the blue channel or the combination, which is the one that I want. And now I should get the correct type of value here. And the roughness, let me put it back to zero point 0.5 because it is, I want it to be a little bit less reflective. So now we have a color that is affecting my material. But that's not the useful part. The useful part is that we have a way of changing that color without needing to go here and affect the base color output directly. Why is this important? Because this color later, I can modify it. I can use operations, very common operations. Let me search for multiply, and we can just search it here. We can have a multiplication, or we can have an addition. And you can see the shortcuts here. This means that if I connect it like this, we are multiplying our value, which is just a color, by 1. So nothing happens, right? But what happens if I multiply it by 2? Whoops, that's not 2. It will return an even brighter value because I'm multiplying 0 by 0, this number by this number, and 1 by 1, well, excuse me, by 2 is 2, right? So this number multiplied by 2, it's giving me this color. If we add, then we will get something very different. And we just get white. Why? Because if everything here was 1, we get white. And let me just Control C to the last value. And if I'm adding 1 here, it means that this will be 1, this will be 1, and this also will be 1. Now, right now, it's not gonna make much sense to just, why do I want to multiply? Why do I want to add? Well, here's the interesting part. If we get a texture, let's say we use this pistol texture, and we get this color and multiply it by the texture value, and let's connect it to the base color, now we get something very interesting. We're getting this texture multiplied by this color, so it's actually tinting this texture to this value. Why is it doing it? Well, just imagine that this color is like a super little grid. And imagine that this continues, right? Like this continues here and it continues here. And this is also a grid of pixels. So the only thing that this is doing is getting, this first pixel, I'm going to multiply it with this first pixel. And then that result, I'm going to put it here in the base color, and that's why we're getting this result. Hopefully that makes sense, because most of material operations work like that in a pixel domain. Like we get a texture, and if we don't have, everything here is 1, then it means that it will return the original color of the texture. Right? So it is important to know whenever we are working with materials, how the operations that we're doing inside of them work. For now, let me just remove everything and let's go back to just having this simple color.